Top of the morning, everyone. Today's video is very different to some of the videos that I always share. Today's video is about the cool side and the scary side. Today I get to talk to you guys about culture shock, or some of the things I didn't expect when I moved to Switzerland, as well as some of the things that I got to experience that I think are absolutely fantastic, that I wish every country could actually implement. But it's just one of those things. These are my views, not anybody else's views. So if you have ideas whether this works, this doesn't work, please let me know. You know, there's write me comments below, share what you guys have experienced when you're traveling, countries that you've moved to. Let me know where you actually are watching this video from. So just let's share, because I know COVID has been a bit hectic, so I thought I should just come up with a lighter side where it actually doesn't, you know, speak too much about work. It's just something simple, and just share some of my experiences. So I'm gonna try and make it as simple as possible, and I think it's probably the top 10 or top 14 things I wish I knew fully before moving here. Some of them I already knew them, some of them I had no idea that they were that important to Switzerland. But yeah, here I am, and I thought I should actually share some of those things with you guys. So I'm gonna start with the culture shock, the things that actually I saw happening, and I was like, wait, what? Nah, man, that's not possible. So I'm gonna start with that, because I think it's a lot better, and then from there I will then end off with telling you guys about the post office, because that's also very, very important. And I'll share with some of the guys that are not necessarily from Botswana or South Africa, you know, about my experience when it comes to that. So I'll start off by telling some of the people that watch this where I come from. So I'm originally from Botswana, born and raised. And then when I was 19 years old, 19 years old, I moved to South Africa. And I moved to South Africa to study. So I did my degree in South Africa. As soon as I finished my degree, I started working in South Africa. So I've been working in South Africa for about 18 years now. So South Africa became my home. So my adult life, I spent it in South Africa. As much as I'm still very much connected to my home country, Botswana, you know, I think I feel sometimes more like I'm more South African than I am from Botswana, because of the fact that I spent most of my adult life without, you know, adult supervision in South Africa than in Botswana. I still have some awesome friends in Botswana that, you know, keep me up to date with what's happening, and I do check up on the news and what's happening in Botswana. So that's just the gist of who I am and who Tshidi is and what he's all about. And then a few months ago, I moved to Switzerland with my family, and the whole idea was to just come and be a bit closer to the grandparents, spend a bit more time on the side, give our son a different lifestyle, and now we're here. And then as an African boy that moved to Switzerland, there are things that do happen that you just look at and you're like, really? Will that happen? Could that actually happen in back home? And then some of them you're like, nah, bruh, it's not gonna happen. And even if we tried it, you know, it's never gonna happen. So I'll start with those things that actually shocked me. Number one is accommodation is definitely not cheap, guys. Accommodation is expensive here, and I think, you know, because I'm lucky to have friends that live in Germany and some of the other places, and we talk about how much they pay for accommodation. When I look at accommodation in Switzerland and most of the countries around, yeah, I think Switzerland takes the award for one of the most expensive places to live. For example, a one-bedroom apartment will set you off by 1,500 Swiss francs. Now, the exchange rate here that we've been stuck with for the last maybe 5-6 months has been 1 Swiss franc to 17 rands. So just, and I'm using the rands because for a lot of people that have been watching my channel, a lot of them come from South Africa and Botswana and African countries, so that they can relate, they can easily convert it to their own currencies. So I'm not going to try and use the dollar, because, you know, they're not going to, like, people don't relate to the dollar as much as we use the dollar. It's not the most important denomination that side. So yeah, it'll set you off from 1,500 Swiss francs to about 2,500 Swiss francs. That's a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment. That's just as a start, and that is equivalent to about 25,000 rands for 1 bedroom apartment, to about 42,500 rands for a 2-bedroom apartment. That's what you pay monthly. Now, just think about what you could do if you could find 42,000 rands every month to pay for an apartment. Like, just, your wildest dreams. And it would be easier to actually share, like, the houses or the apartment or the accommodation that you could find for 42,000 rands is just ridiculous. So that's one of the most things where I was like, wait, what? How much does it cost? The other thing that you should remember, guys, when still on accommodation, is that Switzerland counts accommodation very differently, or the way they describe the apartments is completely different. And I had to learn that the hard way. For example, they'll say an apartment or a house is 3.5 rooms. Don't think that 3.5 rooms basically means that it's actually 3 bedrooms and a half bedroom. Nah, homie, nah. It means there's 2 bedrooms. The living room, they counted as another room. So that's the 3rd room. So they would call it 3.5. So the 3rd room is the living room or the lounge area where we normally sit. And then the half would be the little passageway. So that's, and the first time I saw this, like, I couldn't understand, because we kept on saying, yeah, no, we're looking for 3.5 bedrooms, only to find that 3.5 rooms. It actually meant that we're looking for 2 bedrooms with a living area and a little passage area. That's it. That's all. So if you ever see it and you're like, wait, what? But that looks big. No, it's not big. It's just 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a passage. They count the living room as one of the rooms. And then number 2, language is a barrier. There's 4 main languages in Switzerland. So you've got German, French, Italian, and Romansh. I only found out about Romansh a few years ago when I started visiting Switzerland. So I didn't know anything about Romansh, but it's one of the languages that is official in Switzerland. English is spoken throughout most of the cantons, and most of the times when you go to the shops, you can always ask the people if they can speak English, and 90% of the time the guys will tell you that they can speak English. So there you'll get somehow. But it is a culture shock where you come into an area where you've been learning German, and then you get here and then people are telling you that they're speaking Swiss German, and the language that they speak does not even sound anything like what you've learned in German. Like that's like my mind was blown the first time. I was like, wait, what? But I've been learning German, but what you guys are saying has got nothing, like, it doesn't sound like what I've been learning. Like, what the hell is going on? So that's one of the things that you need to remember. The third thing is public transport is not cheap. However, it is cheaper to use public transport than to own a car. And this is the reason. Number 1 is you literally pay for parking almost everywhere you go, including the same place that you've booked. Like, if, for example, we're renting this apartment, you pay for parking where you stay. Imagine, like, that's like, wait, why would I pay for parking when I'm already paying for rent? But it's the Swiss way of doing things. You pay for parking. Some of the workplaces you also pay for parking. It's the same back home, but it's one of those things where if you start adding up some of these costs, it actually is a bit of money. And then the street areas, like in the streets where you see empty parking, yes, you could pay a meter guy back home and things like that, but here it doesn't matter where you are, you park. You need to make sure that you actually pay for that. And there's normally accesses that you can get for certain zones that you need to actually know about. And then also you pay once a year for using the highway, which is a lot better than e-tolls. I know some of the guys who are watching from home, you're like, yeah, no, we've got e-tolls. No, here likely you just pay once off and then you use the highway as much as you can. So that's the nice thing about that. Number 4 is healthcare. Healthcare is not free. So for some of the countries around, you'll find that healthcare is free for the locals. But here it's a requirement that you actually have medical insurance or healthcare. But it's amazing. Like, as much as I could try and complain about it, it's not free, but it's really, really amazing. So for a family of 2 with a child, you could be paying about 800 Swiss francs, which is roughly somewhere around 13,000 francs per month that you'll be paying. So it's relatively not bad. So 13,000 rands is not the worst things. And then this one, actually, I'm still dealing with it. I'm still trying to understand it, guys. Sundays, like, guys, Sundays are useless days. Like, I've never seen a country where you can't do much on Sunday. So on Sundays, write off Sundays as a day that you don't even discuss with your friends, because nothing is going to happen. Number one is 90% of the shops are closed on Sundays. 90 to 95% of the shops are closed. If you want to buy anything, like for sometimes the last time we wanted to go to the pharmacy on a Sunday, all I could do was literally go to the train station, because that's the only place where usually on Sundays the shops are open. So that's it. If you don't have a train station near you, you're kind of doomed, because most of the shops are closed except for garages where you want to go to the petrol station, and some petrol stations will be open. You cannot do laundry on Sunday, right? Picture this. I used to do laundry almost every Sunday. That was my laundry day. You can't do laundry on a Sunday. Even if it's free, you're not allowed to do laundry on a Sunday, because Sunday is Sunday. You don't do laundry on Sunday. Just, you cannot do recycling on Sunday. That's another thing. Like that, there's so much recycling that needs to be done. You have to learn to pack your boxes and stuff. You can't do recycling on Sunday. And there's even a board that says it's forbidden to do recycling on Sunday. So forget Sundays. You can't vacuum your own house on Sunday. Like, how, back in the days, your parents will play, what do you call this? They'll play Lucky Dube or something like that. Nah, bruh, like here, you cannot vacuum your house on Sunday. It's forbidden. So Sundays is basically a rest day. You go up to the mountains, you take walks with the family, you exercise, you run, you do all these things, but you cannot do anything on Sunday. Number 6, guys, is that shops mostly close at 6 p.m. So don't plan to say, okay, no, at 8 I could quickly go to a spa or Coop or Migros, whatever. Most shops will close, especially between 6 and 7. Some close at 7, but now with COVID, obviously the hours have changed for all shops. So, every day of the week, you make sure that when you leave work, if you leave work between 5, you go into the shops, you buy whatever you need to buy and take it home. Because after 6 p.m., forget it, shops will be closed for then. And then the 7th last one is houses do not come with lighting features. Okay, like guys, I'm not talking anything complicated. I'm talking globes and bulbs and things like that. Stuff that you think, that should be in the house. Nah, houses do not come with that. Like, you have to come with your own lighting features. So whatever you buy, make sure that you buy something that you really, really like. So those are the top things that I looked at that actually shocked the living daylights, and I'm still trying to understand how I survived so far. So see you guys again in the next video. The next video will be discussing things that amazed me about Switzerland. So those are the things that I looked at it, I was like, no man, that's not possible. In the next video that I'll be sharing with you guys, it'll be things that actually I'm still pinching myself when I actually get to see. And thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and looking forward to some of your comments down below, and I'll respond to all the comments. So please, if you have any comments, do share them. Let's talk. Let's hear what you've got to say.